Hey, what is going on there, guys? My name is Josh Keatley. Today I want to talk about some of the fun times I had in Germany. As you already know, I was in the army. I went to Iraq, and my first duty station was Germany. And I had so much fun in Germany, so much fun, especially after being in Iraq for a year. Coming back to Germany, we partied our ass off. I had probably the funnest time in my life. So much fun. But I really want to tell you some interesting, funny stories that happened to me while I was in Germany. So, one of the first stories I want to tell you about is the first time I found a castle. And it wasn't like I mapped out, I'm going to go to this castle today. No, I just got my license, and not having my license a long time in Germany really sucked. I failed my driver's test 2 times. Third time's a charm. I finally passed it. So I went a couple months in Germany with no driving. I finally got my license. And I loved just going out for drives, no destination in mind. I would just make split decisions at a red light, at a stop sign, whichever, left, straight, right. I would just go wherever. So much fun. I love doing it. So I was just out for a random drive one day, and I was going quite a far distance. Just I was just taking lefts, rights, everywhere. When I do this, I always keep kind of a sense of direction. Like, okay, back home is this way. But if I do get lost, I don't even care. I'll just stop somewhere, ask for directions, bust out my map that I had. I never even usually check the map, but if I got lost, I would get it out. But so anyhow, I was just driving along, and I see a big, huge castle on top of a mountain. And I was so amazed when I seen it. I believe this was the first castle I ever seen in my life, and I was like, oh my god, a castle. And it was huge, and it was on top of a mountain. It looked like something that you see in a movie. So I was so excited about it. I was like, that's where I'm going, right there to that castle. And I kept driving, towards it. And I could not get to it. Like, it was on top of a mountain. I'm driving all the way around this mountain on one side, the other side. I realized I was too far. I'd have to turn around. So, it took me a couple hours now, trying to find this castle. And it was pretty awesome. There's this little city that's right kind of beside the mountain, and you drive into it. Really cool looking entrance. Awesome city. I definitely remember a little town. I can't say city, a little village. Probably population 100, 1,000, somewhere in that range. So you go into the village, and the castle was up there on a mountain. And I still drove all through the village, all around the mountain. Could not figure out how to get up there. So I decided I just parked my car in the village, close as I could to the mountain, and I just hiked up the side of the mountain. And I was dressed in regular clothes. I was just out for a drive that day, and here I am hiking up a mountain. It wasn't like mountain climbing where I needed a pickaxe or anything like that, but it was a pretty steep hill slash mountain. I had a lot of rocks I would have to grab onto a limb right there. I was like seriously climbing this mountain. And it took me a good hour, maybe hour and a half. I finally made it to the very top. And I was sweaty, I was dirty, I was tired, I was out of breath by the time I got there. It was a hike up that mountain. And when I got up there, I thought for sure I would be the only one up there. And when I got up there, there were so many people up there. There were little kids, old ladies. I was like, wow. So I go up to a group of people. I was like, did you guys climb the side of the mountain too? And they looked at me and started laughing. They're like, no, we took the steps. I was like, oh my god, the steps. Like, there was probably signs everywhere that said castle this way, but all the signs were in German. I can't read German, so, you know. And I was kind of disappointed when I got up there and actually seen the castle, because it wasn't a full castle. It was just the ruins of a castle. From where I seen it and was looking at it from the mountain, it looked like a full castle, but only one side of the castle was fully standing. And you can go inside. It's a bunch of ruins and stuff, and it's a really old castle, so it still was really cool just to go into the ruins. Big broken castle. Was really cool. And when you stand at the very top of the castle, you're way up on this mountain, and you can see for miles, miles and miles. And it was just such an awesome view to be standing there in Germany on top of a castle, just looking for miles, seeing all the other mountains, all the little villages. It was just such an awesome feeling. Like, it's one of those moments like, I can't believe I'm here right now in Germany, standing on top of a castle. So it was really awesome. I really enjoyed that day. I think me hiking up the mountain, made it that much funner. Like, so, I had a girlfriend at the time, and I told her about this awesome experience, and she laughed and stuff. And eventually, we started to get a little more serious, and I wanted to take her up to the castle for a date. And I remember I bought her a real nice heart necklace, and it's probably the funniest date I ever been on in my life. So we together went up to this castle. The second time we took the steps. I finally figured out where the steps were, and we took the steps up there. And we laughed about the whole way that I climbed the mountain because it was still a lot of steps, but even longer climbing the mountain. So, we got up there, and I gave her the necklace up there. I told her I loved her, blah blah blah. A little romantic date, probably the best date I ever had in my life, and it was a lot of fun. I got some pictures and stuff. I'll probably show that at the end of this video. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed the story. It was definitely a lot of fun for me to find a castle, climb a mountain, stand on top of the castle, have a date on top of the castle. It was so much fun. Something, I I mean, I don't know if you can go to Germany or not, but I definitely recommend you seeing some castles. Actually, seeing some castles after this. I've seen the Disneyland Castle, the real one in Germany. I've been to King Ludwig's Castle, took an actual tour. So I loved castles in Germany, but this was my very first castle and the most memorable castle to me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my story today, and you guys have a really great day today.